Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and this is Spellbinder's weekly report on the Edward G. Griffin's newsletter, The Reality Zone, from the Unfiltered News from the Reality Zone. And this is for the week of February 4th through 10th of 2012. This week's comic strip is pretty funny, actually. It says Social Security. And then it says, insert paycheck here. Pull and see if you win your money back. That's about it. They've already taken it. Now to the headlines, which there's a lot of good headlines this week on the Unfiltered News from G.Edward Griffin. And here we go. Egypt. Government to try to self-proclaim pro-democracy groups for being covertly directed by U.S. to foment revolution and topple the existing regime. The U.S. denies any such activity, but curiously threatens to withhold $1.3 billion in annual military aid if the groups are prosecuted. These groups are heavily funded by U.S. taxpayers, don't you know? Google News, February 10th. Video. Who will win the GOP nomination is not necessarily the same as who wins the caucuses or even the primaries. All that matters is getting pledges from delegates to the National Convention. Although not mentioned in mainstream media, most of the Republican delegates are pledging to, ready for this, Ron Paul. Go Ron Paul 2012. YouTube, February 9th. Okay, U.S. 49 states have settled an agreement with 5 major banks that gives the financial giants immunity from future complaints about their loan and foreclosure practices. Individual and class action suits may still be filed for fraudulent marketing of mislabeled investments, though. LA Times. Not sure how to look at that. It should have been allowed to fail and let somebody step up to the plate and fixed it, so we didn't have to bail them out. Fox Network cancels Judge Neopano's Freedom Watch show. Yes, you heard it today. They have canceled his show. He emailed even Alex Jones during the show and said, they just canceled my show because I'm talking too much about Constitution and liberalism and libertarian and supporting Ron Paul, and they don't like that. This is a great loss to the freedom movement, but is consistent with the collectivist orientation of Fox TV network. Yes, Fox, Nazi, never mind. Reason, February 9th. Yeah, they canceled the Judge, and I used to watch that on Freedom Watch on the Patriot Network, and I'm not going to be able to watch it anymore. Hope he finds a show somewhere else. I like the Judge. Video. U.S. officials tell NBC News that Israel is working closely with and funding a terrorist group in Iran to kill Iranian nuclear scientists. Iran has claimed this from the beginning. YouTube, February 9th. So it's just coming out now. What you know. Russia and China veto a UN resolution that would call for regime change in Syria, which is the goal of the U.S. and other Western powers. The veto is motivated by fear that the U.S. is orchestrating an anti-government movement and seeks to replace the present despotic leader with another despotic leader who will be aligned with the U.S. concepts of the military-industrial complex. It's all about who will control the Middle East and has little to do with the interest of the common people. More violence is inevitable. Perhaps even all-out war. UPI, February 8th. Obama makes U-turn and now supports political super PAC contributions from unlimited amounts from donors outside the campaign organizations. During his own campaign, he described these as a corporate takeover of our democracy. Yeah, in other words, he's being bought out by somebody. Whoever has the most money wins. Your vote means nothing, really. Daily Mail, February 7th. Because it's now Mittens is the only one that has more money, or as much money as Obama will have after he starts taking super PAC money. Anyway, senior U.S. military officers break ranks in admitting that it is probably will cost him his career, says the government is lying to Americans about the success of the war in Afghanistan, which he says is failing badly. Daily Mail, February 7th. That's right. It's not working over there. We can't beat them. Russia couldn't beat them. You're looking at a fucking big, excuse my language, you're looking at a big pointy rocky place, and you're trying to say that you can go in there and find things. No, there's so many caves and cubby holes in that mountainous area. It's basically it's a mineral wealth is what Afghanistan has to offer, is minerals, as in gold, silver, platinums and stuff of that, and some gemstones. It has nothing to do with rare earth metals like we're trying to get from China, which is cutting us back. That's what Afghanistan is all about. Anyways, the U.S. government and the courts have protected Monsanto and Dow Chemical from lawsuits resulting from Agent Orange and dioxin poisoning. Costs will be passed on to the taxpayer. Incredibly, a federal judge created a special law from the bench that gives all government contractors immunity from effects of their products, even non-military ones. Natural Society, February 7. The criminals are winning, people. We are being overran by them. Now Monsanto has freedom to poison you at will. Thank the courts. Over 40 states have signed off on a settlement to compensate mortgage holders for bank fraud. The banks are getting off easy, but are slowing the settlements anyways because they also want immunity from future claims. Obama is pushing for the fast settlement to support the illusion that he is tough on big banks. No one is facing jail time, and eventually most of the settlements will come from your money to your taxpayers in the form of bank bailouts. It's primarily a political show, is all it is. We're being robbed blind, people. It's called fleecing of America, and the banksters are doing it. HuffPost, February 7th. And Iran defaults on payments to India for rice imports as a result of the U.S. and Western crippling blows against Iran's banking system. India and other countries are expected to stop further shipments. Thus, the sanctions could cripple Iran's food supply. Yahoo, February 7th. An interesting, fun video. Dog, cat, and rat, an amazing friendship. There you go. New York Times trashes the U.S. Constitution, says it has fallen into disfavor for good reasons, and is in need of a sexy update. Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg is quoted as saying she prefers the South African Constitution and the Bill of Rights in the European Union, both of which are based on the ideology of collectivism, in contrast to the U.S. Constitution, which is based on the ideology of individualism. Remember, they want to take away you and make you them. And you see how they are, and I don't want nothing to do with it. New York Times, February 7th. God, this is terrible. Father of the German Green Movement publishes a major book that shows global warming is a myth and that the UN's IPCC has twisted science to further its political agenda. The book is taking Germany by storm and is a heavy body blow to global warming alarmists. No Tricks Zone, February 6th. That's right. We're in the biggest solar cycle doing the weirdest things to our weather, and they're trying to take advantage and rob you, fleece you of your money with it. They're con men. God. Bill Gates is funding a group of climate scientists. Here's another con man. Lobbying governments to back geoengineering experiments, including spraying of millions of tons of sulfur dioxide in the sky. If we don't have an Ice Age jet, they're going to make sure we get one. The stated purpose is to combat global warming, but increasingly that is recognized now by scientists worldwide as a political myth. So we are left to ponder what Gates' real motive is for spraying poison into the atmosphere. Yes, and that's his poisonous. Think of it if it falls down like fog onto a town or something, and it's in concentrations where you can't breathe. You suffocate. Anyways, the real motive for spraying the poison in the atmosphere. Could this lifelong interest in population reduction have something to do with it? He's a person that wants to get rid of 80% of people. He says his vaccines will help. And Guardian, February 6th. U.S. The FBI is enlisting businesses to spy on their customers to detect suspicious activity that could identify them as domestic terrorists, such as always paying cash for a cup of coffee at an internet cafe. That's right. They want you to have a cashless society where they can say, you don't deserve to live today. We're taking all your money. Hey, believe me, that's what it's leading to. Control of your life through your finances. Boiling Frogs posted February 6th. Telling you. GMO giant BASF is moving its headquarters from Europe to the United States, where there is less opposition to GMO crops and regulators are more friendly to GMO development. FT post February 6th. Without consent of Congress, Obama freezes all money and property of Iran government and central banks located in the U.S. and also threatens sanctions against other countries if their banks continue to do business with Iran. This is an act of financial war and is aimed at choking off world sales of Iranian oil. Israel says it will attack Iran if, in their opinion, the sanctions are ineffective. New York Times, February 6th. They want World War III, believe me, or they want to crash the world, one or the other. Like I said, it's financial war right now in the world, using Iran as the excuse. Nevada, this reporter says that Ron Paul rightfully won the Nevada caucus, not Romney. Romney was declared the winner with only 5% of the vote counted. Ron Paul was way ahead in Clark County, the most populous county in Nevada, until the GOP found irregularities and then recounted everything in private. I wonder, just like Iowa, where they made a gentleman's agreement that, oh yeah, by and by Centurion won. Hill Buzz, February 6th. Nuts, I'm telling you. 300 New York police have cancer resulting from toxic air after 9/11. Federal compensation may not cover cancer. A court decision is due in March. Meanwhile, studies linking cancer to 9/11 dust are being delayed so that they cannot be used in court case, and maybe the people will die during the meantime. Daily Mail, February 6th. You know, they don't realize that there's a lot of asbestos in there, and the easiest way to do it without paying billions of dollars to get rid of the asbestos is just bring the buildings down. That's the truth behind what Silverstein was doing. U.S. FBI distributes flyers to many industries, asking them to observe and report on their customers. Here is a sample of 25 different flyers describing actions or attitudes that could land you on a terrorist watch list. Activist post February 6th. That's right. You're a terrorist if you're American, believe in mom and apple pie and the Constitution. UK, girls as young as 13 were given contraceptive implants in school without the consent of their parents. In a collectivist system, it is assumed that the state has a higher authority over children than your parents. Telegraph, February 6th. Video. U.S. bridges and roads are being built by companies owned by the Chinese government. Even though the American unemployment is at a critical level and U.S. companies are anxious and able to do the job. ABC News posted February 5th. That's right, they're still outsourcing all the work in the United States. They're shutting us down, people. They're shutting down America, and you're just sitting there going, football. Anyways, Australia is the first country to demand all airline travelers submit to full-body X-ray scanners. No option for a pat-down. You'll be irradiated and unzip your DNA so you die of cancer in a few years. Activist post February 5th. U.S. Geological Survey website acknowledges that fracking causes earthquakes. Really? USGS posted February 5th. Tennessee introduces bill to notify the federal NDAA indefinite detention law against U.S. citizens. The bill would also require federal agents to state the reason for any arresting and get a written permission from the local sheriff. Federal agents and arrests that violate requirements could be charged with kidnapping. That would be great. Which would go everywhere. Andrew Alder, owner and the publisher of the Atlanta Jewish Times, calls for the assassination of any U.S. president who does not help Israel obliterate its enemies. That's right. You heard it first from a very Zionist out there. That's what a Zionist is. These people want everyone else dead around them but don't agree with them. War hawks in high places are pondering ways to make Israeli or U.S. preemptive strike against Iran seem like a reasonable necessity. A false flag attack on a U.S. warship, a possibility like the USS Enterprise, which has been sent out there. Georgia judge rules that Obama may appear on the 2012 ballot despite clear evidence submitted to the court that Obama's claim of being a natural-born citizen is based on fraudulent documents. WorldNet Daily, February 4th. U.S. Judge Neapolitano delivers a moving orientation of how the Constitution has been distorted to expand federal control over the states and the people. The other positive side, he points out that this generation has been granted the great privilege of defending freedom in its darkest hour. And that's all the time I have for. You have a good day. Pray for Judge Neapolitano. He needs it. Good day. Have a great weekend.